Hey guys, so I wanted to do a video on how I keep my bike safe when I'm touring. I always travel with a heavy duty bike lock. Bike theft is just too bad these days that anything lighter than this, it can basically get cut with bolt cutters or a grinder really easily. Now this is about an 8mm high tensile chain. It's 3 foot long, which is about 900 millimeters. And yeah, pretty much if they're going to cut through this, like they're going to cut through whatever you've got, unfortunately. I just have a standard lock with it as well. Now this chain was actually a Lockwood chain that's like designated for bikes. So it also came with this sock, which is awesome, and I'll put that on in a bit and I'll show you what the deal is with that. But basically the best thing about a chain like this is you can cut it to the correct length and you can just wear it around your waist. Now for me, buying it, the stock Lockwood chain with the sock was actually the correct length for my waist once I add this Lockwood lock in. And so I can really comfortably wear that around me while I'm cycling around the place. It's really easy to put on and off, and you hardly notice it there. It's quite comfortable. I've worn it without the sock on there as well, and honestly, like, you barely notice it's there once you're riding. What I tend to do is I ride with the lock just to the left hand side of me, and it rests up on my hip. The whole chain rests on my hip. Now I'll put the sock on and I'll show you what it looks like. And that's it now with the sock on it as well. So pretty much what I do is I just wear it as is. I'll take the sock off and wash it every now and then just to keep it clean. But I found this works really well. Another really cool feature, basically one of these bands, and you can basically wear the key up in your arm so that way you always know where it is, and then when you need to unlock it, you can just pull the band down to your wrist and you don't even need to take the band off to undo your lock, undo your bike. Yeah, so this is basically how I wear it around myself. It just rests above the hips. I always keep the lock just at my side, and that way it's not, bumping you and annoying you and stuff like that. Yeah, really comfortable. So what you could do, you could buy a longer chain and just cut it to length, cut it to a comfortable size, but remember when you add the lock in, it basically adds another link in as well. So just remember that. And here I have the band just up on my wrist, and I can just pull that down to my wrist whenever I want to take the lock off. Now one of the reasons I choose a chain over a D-lock is that it is high tensile, so it's still going to be hard to cut with a grinding disc. But however, if someone's wanting to cut this with a grinder, it's actually really difficult to hold. If you imagine that looped over a bike, they've got to hold this one link with either their hands or some kind of tool in order to cut it. And as well as that, they've got to cut through each side of the link. They can't just cut through the one bar if it was a D-lock. So in my opinion, when it comes to safety against a cordless grinder attack, you're better off with a chain for that reason. The lock itself doesn't matter. I mean, you want something that's about as heavy as your chain, but when you think about it, no one in their right mind is going to pick this. It would have to be a fairly professional bike thief to actually pick a lock as opposed to cutting it. So yeah, with a lock like this, I'd say most bike thieves are just going to walk straight away from it. If you're really paranoid like I am, what I normally do when I'm in the city back at home is I actually use two locks. I'll use the chain lock as always, and then I'll use either a D-lock or a lighter lock to lock the bike up a second time. The reason I do that is it just makes it so much less attractive to try and cut two locks as opposed to one. So yeah, if you've got a nice bike that you're worried about, I would do that. If I'm on tour, I don't normally do that, but what you could do is just have a light lock that you used as your second lock. It's just more of a deterrent. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment if you want more videos like this.